Hello, this is OTTO Yields. It's Happy Yields to Go Friday. Normalcy returns on Monday, and we'll send money to work again. The idea of turning money into personal investment capital is not new. Investing for income? Not a new concept either. Toronto, New York, or London, as one Baker Street detective told his retired friend once. Elementary, Watson. You know the method. Apply it. So, you find some bonds and blue-chip dividend stocks, add liquidity and diversification with ETFs, buy low, sell high, you monitor commissions and fees, keep an eye on winners, buy on dips, identify losers to get out as soon as possible. And you keep clipping coupons all along. But wait, there's more to it. If it's all so simple, why aren't we all winning? That is the question today. Time to go from search to discovery of Dr. Y's opposite George method. Stock exchanges have been around since the 17th century. By 1914, London Stock Exchange traded 1/3 of all public capital in the world. Since then, technology has made huge strides, but the way we invested stayed pretty much the same. Sure, we have keyboards, screens, smartphones, and an ever-expanding list of gadgets. Yet, what we do has not really changed. Experts and brokers in financial districts use their experience and skill sets going through something called sell-side research to try to pick tomorrow's winners. They decide what to buy and sell based on what happened yesterday and today's news. The problem lies in Mark Twain's observation. Forecasts are tricky, especially ones about the future. To make matters worse, there is no exception for brokers. They are human beings driven by emotions, motivated by compensation, susceptible to cognitive biases, and in a legally binding employment contract with large shareholder value, or to be more exact, profit margin-driven corporation. Like the rest of us, they are prone to cognitive biases. Familiarity is sometimes mistaken for safety. Mistakes are difficult to admit because of the overconfidence bias, and unfortunately, there seems to be no safe escape route from FOMO. Being afraid and angry for missing out, looking stupid when everyone is making money. Deeply rooted in herd missing out contributed to Black Mondays and swans throughout history. It starts with irrational exuberance until the bubble finally bursts. Income investors learn a bitter lesson. Say no, and more often than not, add insult to injury, a healthy in-market price recovery. There has to be an arm and a leg, or in my case, a beak and a wing, and there is. Our method is so opposite George method. You don't have to announce yourself unemployed and living with your parents, but popularity is an indicator in closed-end funds income investing. If you happen to be a CMO, no, not a chief marketing officer, critical mind owner, you've got to ask yourself, what do efficient markets, described in 1952 by prize winner Harry Markowitz, have to do with sitcoms? Well, just like those are a bit of an anomaly. Why? Because 66 years after Markowitz, an economist, Richard Thaler, got a Nobel for advances in behavioral economics. It all started with a publication called, one of the earliest ones discovered by workhorses of monthly incomes, called Closed-End Funds. My human intelligence partner, Dr. Y, who is a Canadian authority on the subject, deals with the anomaly by removing guesswork. That's the start. But buying dividends way more by not blindly following emotions. If you want to do the opposite, when people like George Costanza panic, it is not time to imitate a couch potato. You wake up, descend, and do some low-hanging fruit is clearly low. And by low, we mean cost of assets. This is one of the parameters our system uses to screen funds in top 50 yields at Discount Universe. We know what MERs and other liquidity, yield, and most importantly, net asset value discount. Finally, we plug in a statistical indicator called Z-score. It shows how popular an asset class is at any observation point. If you do your due, suggest a replacement. The unpopular ones are discarded by poorly informed sellers. You scoop the ones ranked as 5 stars. And now, let's admit it, there's an elephant in the room. In near zero global GDP growth, calling net asset value discount, we'll explain that in excruciating detail, is a substantially than any MER saving you can think of. And while we're at it, let's behavioral gap. That innocent-sounding name is connected to FOMO and describes the 3 to 5% annual difference in average returns for investors selling funds compared to the aforementioned potatoes doing nothing. But doing nothing is okay, but doing nothing while automating and following the Z's without going into statistical jargon, let's just quote Morningstar. Z-score can help investors and overvalued funds. Then why is it practically unknown in Canada? Who cares? Simply 5 money method is now a dividend detectives are standard behavioral or other. To continue the Sherlock Holmes analogy, if you'd like to detect the best pick, 1 click away. You'll feel secure knowing that these easy-to-follow recommendations are a result of a rational count, not dictated by a need to earn some knee-jerk emotional reaction. Our services are set up to deliver the cost and help in your DIY endeavors. The platforms we've identified expose the legacy systems for what they are, a money waste. Bring me your frequently asked but often ignored investment question. Time at all.